Well, it rained this week and there were no power outages to speak of. Somehow, this was news. The Belle Isle giant slide reopened this week after kids went flying. It was the same when I was a kid. But somehow, this was now news for 3 days. There's a new fusion restaurant that's opened in the Eastern Market. That one made national news. None of this, of course, is news. This stuff is ordinary. This is how things should be. The news is supposed to be what is extraordinary and exceptional. The minute the ordinary becomes extraordinary is the moment you put a fork in it. It's akin to writing about the beach conditions in Odessa, Ukraine. Hey, there's lots of bungalows available. It's high season. But that's how it is around here with the news. Somehow we got lost. Somewhere we've been convinced that the abnormal, the graft, and the sloth, and the decrepitude should be ignored, and those who dare point it out should be taken to the electronic woodshed. Hate is gonna hate, as they say. But if the abnormal things are not exposed, how does the life of anyone improve? How will the ordinary expectations of ordinary life return to being ordinary? Last week, I wrote about runaway crime in Michigan and Metro Detroit specifically. So bad is it that Michigan is home to 8 of the top 41 most violent cities in America. 8 of them. To my surprise, I was called everything from a racist to a peddler of misery. Why write that? You shout from your keyboards. What about all the good things? What about the giant slide? What about the queue line? It's free. And that's only because it was quietly bailed out with COVID dollars, in case you don't know. Why not write about the ordinary things, you ask? Because I'm not the Chamber of Commerce. That's why. Where in America is it okay for police to let a dope den remain open where 7 were shot, 2 fatally, on the front lawn? In an actual neighborhood where a 6-year-old lives next door and an old woman keeps potted flowers on her porch. That's abnormal. So I wrote it. And Minister Malik Shabazz of the Black Panthers marched. And 4 years of this going on, 4 years later, the police finally emptied it out. And then the druggies went to the next store. And the police emptied that one out. And they'll move to another, and the neighbors will once again light it on fire. That's not normal. But at least for now, a woman and her daughter who live next to the dope house sleep a little bit easier. And so, that's worth writing about. A public school is located near that dope house where the 7 were shot, 2 fatally, dead on the front lawn. Some kids on that very block attend the school. Surrounding the school are a half dozen abandoned, blighted, rotten houses with trees growing out of them. Kids could get snatched. Most of these houses are owned by the city's land bank authority. How does a child thrive in these conditions? That's worth writing about. Then there's the director of the nursing home, Joe LeBlanc, who blew the whistle on the fact that the state of Michigan is not monitoring COVID deaths in the elderly housing facilities. He's been let go, and he's now being threatened with arrest. We'll bring that to you later in the program. Nevertheless, the state is still not monitoring these facilities. That's not normal. Look around. People can't afford groceries or pencils for their school children or their electric or water bills. People are forced to use both sides of the Charmin. So I'll keep writing because that should not be normal in America. In the meantime, haters should find something to do, or at least find something to love besides the sound of your own voices. And that's the truth. Big tech doesn't like it. Big political parties don't like it. But if you like it, give us a like, give us a subscribe, and hit the bell to be notified. Remember, if you can't sleep, watch the news. You want the news? No BS News Hour.